no problem. So you'll just call me back and confirm.
What the heck? I can't even comprehend it.
If you don't think that that's an act of God, then you're crazy.
They've tied a ligament instead of my fallopian tube.
So that means
What?
you can still get
There.
pregnant.
Yeah, that means I could still get pregnant.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and well, we have another little look into the lovely Ingham's lives, I think, today, because it's not escaped my attention that they have just 3 days in order to get home for Sarah's big appointment, right? Because, you know, we know how much she was worried about the appointment and how much she needed the appointment. Now, if anybody is a bit confused what I'm talking about, she has at the end of this month, that is by the end of the month, not necessarily the last day of the month, by the end of the month, she has an appointment to see about how to get her tubes redone, retied, see what's happening with her tubes, right? Because as we know, her tubes were indiscriminately destroyed in some fashion that only she knows, or only the doctors know. Anyway, so this appeared on the comment section the other day, and it ruffled some feathers amongst the Ingham camp, right? This person said, "I'm getting really worried that you won't be back in time for your hospital appointment at the end of February, Sarah." So it sounds a very concerned comment. There's nothing to suggest it was anything untoward, you know. It's just a general, I mean, Sarah's put it out there herself, so, you know, it's got the iFam all riled up and everything, right? But Chris, he didn't think so. Chris said, "Top prize for creepy comment of the day." Now, I'm not too sure, Chris, why you think that that's a creepy comment, because you yourself put it on a vlog for the consumption of, I don't know, entertainment, is it? I don't know, right? But you've got your fans, and they can get a little bit worried and, you know, a bit concerned about certain things. And just generally, most people would be like, you know, what's going on? You said that you're going to be having this hospital appointment. You're not going to be back, clearly, you know, by the looks of things anyway. But Chris, no, he thinks it's a creepy comment. But he doesn't think that it's creepy to put it out there in the first place. Now, that is very weird in my opinion. So as we know, Sarah was a little bit annoyed because she couldn't get an appointment to find out what was happening with her tubes, you know. As anybody would be, they'd be a little bit peeved, right? Sarah was definitely annoyed about it.
I spoke to her. So it's unlikely to hear anything. Everyone's really busy when they first come back. So I was quite like, not annoyed. I was annoyed. I'm a bit annoyed. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like to like slate anybody, especially like you do rant to like your family and friends and things, but when you do it on here, sometimes it's taken out of context. But I am feeling frustrated and annoyed. I'm not gonna lie.
See, I told you, she was annoyed, right? She was definitely annoyed about the situation. She wanted to get this sorted out, right? She had been told the most devastating news that she was, in fact, no longer celibate. No? Celibate? That's the wrong word, isn't it? She's definitely not that. She was no longer protected against the inevitable Chris's charms, right? Yeah, that sort of thing. So she wanted to find out what was going on, what was happening with her tubes, you know? It's a fair question, I feel.
Because I feel like with something like this, like they should be bending over backwards basically to explain things to me, to keep me updated, to keep me in the loop, to let me know what's going on, because I'm feeling so I don't even know what's gone on inside my own body. I don't even know what's changed. I don't know what they've done. I don't know what repercussions that might have. So what have they done? Like, I feel really anxious about everything that's going on in my own body, and it feels like everyone's like, yeah, but
Exactly. She's feeling anxious about what's going on inside her body. And to be honest with you, I would be absolutely petrified. Somebody's been snipping away at something that they shouldn't do. It's inside you, right? You don't know what's going on. You would want to know. Let's be honest. You would want to know. Sarah wants to know. She is anxious about it, you know. She's scared and she wants answers as soon as possible. Am I right, Sarah?
You know, it was a bit busy over the Christmas period, and it's frustrating that that's the attitude that everyone has. Anyway, that was left as that a couple of days after Boxing Day, whatever day it was, when we were coming home for first holidays. Then I got a call from my consultant, was it, yeah, not yesterday, but the day before, who told me that she's just letting me know that she's not heard anything back from the people that need to review my histology report. She's not heard anything back, but everyone's probably busy because it's, you know, some people are still on holiday and some people are not on holiday, but it's busy because they've been on holiday. So she's not heard anything back, and if she doesn't hear anything back by the end of the week, which is like tomorrow, then she will book me in for a scan, a dye and an x-ray. They were her words. I'll book you in for a scan, dye and x-ray. I don't know what that means. Not a clue. I think they put like a dye in you to see if it runs and then give you an extra. I don't know. I don't know what it means. So I said to her on the phone, I was like, well, I'd quite like an appointment, face-to-face appointment, so I can, you know, talk through things, ask my questions. It's not always easy doing it over the phone. And when I spoke to a surgeon that's nothing to do with me, it's just a friend, on Boxing Day, after I'd got this news, they suggested I do that because it's easier to do things face-to-face than over the phone, and you'll have all your questions properly answered and things like that. So I said that to her on the phone when she called me, and she said that very abruptly, actually. She's like, right, fine, I'll call my secretary and get her to book you an appointment. The appointment came through this morning for the last day in January, which is like 3.5 weeks away. So I'm not waiting that long. I'm not waiting that long. Oh, it's frustrating.
So having pushed the consultant to getting an appointment pushed through, right? The consultant didn't think she needed to see Sarah, but Sarah wanted answers, and she wanted it so desperately that she pushed it on, right? However, when the appointment came through, it was ages away, right? It was 3 weeks away. She didn't want to wait 3 weeks. She couldn't wait 3 weeks, could she? No, not at all, because you know what was happening on the last day of January, the 31st of January? This is where they were on the 31st of January. It's just ironic, isn't it? It's just ironic that they happen to be in a Swedish Airbnb, right? How could they possibly have been expected to attend an appointment on the 31st of January when they were in a Swedish B&B, right? B&B, Airbnb, whatever, right? So that was never going to be on the cards, was it? Because they weren't intending to be in the country. But Sarah, being so anxious about, you know, the appointment and getting it all sorted out and everything like that, she would have wanted to, you know, maybe delay the trip, maybe, but maybe not, obviously. So, fortunately, though, the hospital, they're very accommodating about these sort of things.
Charge it. So basically, my consultant called me today at 12 p.m. She called me just before, actually, to tell me that I'm actually really shocked, like so shocked. Basically, they can't get me in before we go away, which is in a few weeks' time, bearing in mind. It's not like next week, or it's not like in a few days. It's in a few weeks' time. And they can't get me in for a 20-minute appointment to go through everything that's happened, which is mind-blowing to me, considering this is their negligence, basically, of tying my tubes or not tying my tubes, not knowing what they've tied, but they can't see me.
You sound angry, Sarah. You sounded very angry at them not being able to fit you in sooner, which is fair enough. It's fair, right? But on the other hand, 3 weeks isn't actually that long to wait, if I'm being honest with you. You know, all you have to do is delay your trip. If you know, it's fortunately enough, you are van lifers, and van lifers can, in fact, travel at any point that they want to travel. You know, they don't have any set dates or anything like that, so you could in fact have, you know, left a few days later, but no, you decided that holidaying was more important than your tubes being tied. So this, I would say, is very much fake anger, right? Fake anger, as if you know, you think that they should push it forward because you need to go on holiday, sort of thing.
So they're offering me an appointment at the end of February, which is like almost 2 months away, which is just mind-blowing. What's this? So basically, she said to me on the phone today, this is literally, like, this is what she said. You can have the x-ray and the dye if you want, but basically that's just to put your own mind at rest. In my opinion, you don't need it. The evidence is clear, and you can either come back in and have it done again, have the procedure done again, or just use protection. I'll say she didn't use protection, she used the C word.
Not gonna lie, I would use the C word against you as well, Sarah, if you were my patient.
That's your option. So if you want the scan and the dye and the x-ray, come in and have it. In my opinion, you don't need it. The evidence is clear. So either come in and have the procedure done again, or just use protection. Okay, no problem. That's exactly what she said to me. They're planning on not seeing me now until the end of February. That's how it was left. She can't get me in before.
So as you can see, the timeline is fairly clear. She had an appointment for the last day in January, but it was too long to wait, so she tried to get it sooner, but she couldn't get it sooner, so she tried to get it later. It doesn't make any sense, does it? I mean, come on. She doesn't point out in as many words, or in the exact words rather, that the reason why she didn't take the first appointment was because she was going to be away. She didn't say that. She said that she wanted it before she went away. And it's very clear from this that it was because she was going to be away that she couldn't take that appointment. Because if anybody would said the words, I don't want to wait 3 weeks, but then try to negotiate an appointment for 2 months later, it just seems a little bit off to me, I feel. Anyway, you know, that's how it's left. They have the appointment at the end of February, which, as we know, is 3 days away. Now, looking at the little map here, we can see that they are up towards Santa's village right now, I believe. I haven't actually been watching the vlogs yet. So, I believe they're up there, right? Now, if they were to drive home, straight home, all the way home, without stopping, mind, it would take them 39 hours, right? According to the map here. And it would be, that's without stopping, not sleeping. Oh, mind you, Chris can do that, can't he? He doesn't mind. He doesn't need sleep, does he, Chris? Anyway, 39 hours. That is like a day and a half, is it? Nearly 2 days, right? Straight driving from now. Go, Chris, go, do it, go. So then if we go back to the original posts here, somebody replied to Chris and said, I think some are honestly worried for Sarah. She seemed devastated that she had to wait for so long for an appointment, but if you keep driving your remaining iPhone away with your rude replies, which is actually what they are doing, you know, they don't seem to care anymore, you know, and the views are reflecting that, which is nice. Sad that you replied like this. You need all the views you can get right now. And then the ever lovely hound dog, that is Cassie Bourne, came back with, why is it anyone else's business if she goes to her appointment or rebooks it? It's her choice. Guys, chill out, right? It's Sarah's choice. Why is it anybody's business what she does with it, right? It's not like she put it out there for the consumption of the internet or anything like that. No, remember that, guys.
Basically.
So weird.
I'm not sterile.
Babe, I can't even believe how weird this is. If you don't think that that's it...
I nearly burst out crying when she said it first time. I literally was like, why are you playing with my emotions like this?
And they were playing with her emotions, and her emotions were very raw, because don't forget, when all this came out that she had had a baby, she revealed to us how she had also been sterilised and how she was in fact regretting it. In fact, she was so regretful that she was in tears about it. It was very heartbreaking.
I have never felt so, like, empty in the last 4 days. than like I ever have in my whole life. And I just keep playing back that moment when I was on the operating table. She said, we'll ask you twice more if you're sure that you want your tubes tied. She asked me when we started the cesarean, and then she asked me when she'd stitched up my uterus, and she said, we're about to tie your tubes, are you sure you want to do it? And I just said yes. And then I literally have regretted it ever since, and I don't know why.
In fact, it was so bad, and she was so regretful, and she was so upset and in pieces that she had Chris call around all the clinics to see if they could get it reversed ASAP.
So in the first couple of days after I came home from hospital, I was feeling so bad that Chris called around about 5 different clinics to speak to specialists, basically. To speak to specialists. Obviously you can't have a reversal done on the NHS, it has to be done privately. And Chris spoke to 5 highly recommended clinics in the UK, basically. And then there was one clinic that was like the best. So we're not just looking at the best reviews for like the clinic's best reviews, we were looking at like the best reviews for tubal reversal success rates. Called around all these clinics, we got a consultation booked for like 2 weeks later, and that's when I started to feel better, basically. Knowing that I had the choice back, knowing that I had the hope back, knowing that someone was going to help me. And the guys all of the clinics that we spoke to were all like, you know, the success rate is very, very high because of your age, because it's only just been done, because of the tubal reversal that I had done. There's different ways to tie your tubes, basically. Clips and burning them and tying them. And basically the one that I had done is the easiest one to reverse, blah, blah, blah. Now, we ended up cancelling that consultation because I actually didn't feel ready to go, and it felt like it was too soon, and I kind of just wanted to put it out of my head for the reasons that I said before. Like, why am I rushing into this right now when I've only got like a 3-week-old baby, when I should just be enjoying her? But knowing that I have that appointment there just made me feel good. But my feelings on it now are still pretty much the same. However, I'm not putting any pressure on myself. I'm enjoying Aurora, my baby girl, and I'm just going to wait and see, basically. I know I have the option to have the reversal done if I want it doing. It is quite an expensive procedure. How much was it? Was it like 5,500? Something like that. And I do feel so lucky that we are lucky enough to be in a position to be able to do that, because I know there's so many, like I was saying to Chris, imagine if I'd have done this 10 years ago, when we would definitely not have been in a position to be able to pay for a reversal.
I mean, you couldn't write this shit, really, could you? First of all, she has the life-changing, heartbreaking decision to make whether or not she should have her tubes tied. She goes ahead with it against her own will, you know, she was being forced into it by persons unknown. But then, afterwards, she was regretting it so much that she really wanted it back, and she wanted the control back in her life, and she really was thinking about paying $5,000 for it, you know, but she thought she would hold off. She would hold off doing it, you know, just to see how things go. And then somehow on Boxing Day, out of the blue, somebody phones up and says, "Hey, good news, guys, good news. You no longer have to worry about not getting pregnant because, you know, we fucked up, right? We at the hospital fucked up. But, you know, you can sue us or not sue us. That's fine. You know, you don't have to sue us, but you can if you wish." And then that is as we have it right now. So Sarah is no longer sterile. She has all working facilities, or does she? You know, I mean, it was suggested that her ligaments were tied instead of her tubes, which, as I understand, that would hurt a little bit, yeah, just a smidge, you know, but she doesn't seem to be in any pain. So That for me is confusing. Anyway, she has this appointment coming up, which is great news. But see, this comment was replied to the original post, and I think that it's said in tongue-in-cheek, but I couldn't be certain. But anyway, they said exactly, how does she know she even has a hospital appointment at the end of February? Exactly. You know, if you hadn't told anybody, nobody would be none the wiser, right? That's how it is. So when Chris goes and moans about, oh yeah, you know, what a creepy thing to say, it's because you put it out there, Chris. I'm sorry. The logic behind this, man, is absolutely insane. Am I right? Anyway, yeah, Chris thinks it's creepy, but as far as I'm concerned, right, if you are telling the truth, because there is a huge amount of discrepancy over the whole situation, right? There's a lot of people that think you're lying, you know? There's a lot of people that think you never had your tubes tied in the first place. There's a lot of people that don't think that you have an appointment at the end of February. But I'm in the not sure camp, all right? Okay, I'm not sure. I think it's possible you did. But then again, this story, you see, if it's a story that was made up so you could get away with saying, oh, by the way, surprise pregnancy or whatever, right? That doesn't make sense, because you couldn't get pregnant, as far as I'm aware, you can't get pregnant so soon after having a C-section anyway. So there's that. But also, there's too many questions with this story. It feels like if this had happened, Sarah would be in pain, right? And also, there's a question over whether or not she can get pregnant after her tubes or the ligaments and things have been messed with, right? So there's that too. Anyway, I look forward to finding out what's happening. And Chris, by the way, deleted that comment thread, right? Because, you know, he just needs to make it go away. But the thing I don't understand is why the necessity to avoid the particular question, because they themselves put it out there as if to say, this is what's happening. Here, talk about it, right? That's why people put things out online, because it's public then, and they want the interaction, they want the content for their video. But when people come back to them and say, oh, by the way, this happened, you know, it's a series, right? It's like a TV show, in fact, Chris. Once you go on to the next episode, the previous episode contents don't disappear, right? It's a series, so people are going to wonder what's happening after you said it. Now, you can avoid telling people or discussing it with people, but I don't see why you would want to, because if it's legitimately happening, then just, you know, all you have to say is, oh, by the way, it looks like we're not going to get back on time, so we're having to rearrange this appointment, you know. Some people will just snark at you, probably, but there's an element of being honest and truthful about things, so people will also respect that bit more than you just sort of saying, yeah, delete that, because we don't want to address that particular issue. Now, if you've been lying the whole time, then that's another matter as well, isn't it? Because people will be a little bit upset, won't they, that you've lied. I do think that quite often you lie about things, right? As much as you think that you are the most truth-telling people in the world, no, you do lie about things, and you lie off the cuff. So it's like you don't think about it, and then later on you forget that you've said certain things, and you don't have like a follow-up to how you're going to deal with this in the future after the lie has died down. So yeah. Anyway, what do you guys think? Do you think that this is an actual thing? Do you think they're lying about the whole thing? Do you think that Sarah is going to be back in time for the end of February for her appointment? Do you think that Chris intends just to put his foot down, drive all the way home, and then just sort of open the door as they pass the hospital, and Sarah's just going to fly out into the hotel, the hospital? Hotel is easy to mistake to make with them. The hospital waiting room. Yeah. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. That would be great. Thank you all so much for taking the time to listen to my, me. Yeah. Until next time, please give this video a massive thumbs up, comment all of your thoughts about it down below, and subscribe to the channel if you are new.